This beanie gives me warm memories, and by warm memories, I mean those cold, shivering nights in New York City. Since I couldn't go on my trip this month, I decided to take a trip down memory lane and look through some of my old archives for some previous travels. Here I will talk about 5 major lessons that I learned about personal development while traveling. Exactly 1 year ago in 2021, I went to New York with my buddy Josh and met up with him for the first time in San Jose. Bro, we're freaking tired as shit. Like, I had a 5-hour flight, some delay, getting lost on the train, but it's all G. The flights that we booked were a discount from JetBlue, and I was like, dude, let's send it. So we were super excited and we planned this for a couple months. He was someone that I met through Instagram, and he was also another creator, photographer, videographer. So I was really excited to see where this trip would take us.
This view's sick, dude. Oh shit, let me get you, bro. Hold on. Let me get you, dude.
We're walking towards the start of Brooklyn Bridge, which is a 50-minute walk away. It's whatever though. Now this point isn't as profound as the rest, but fundamentally, I feel like it's the most important, is that your shoes are everything. What I mean is the durability of your everyday essentials, whether it is the shoes that you walk in or the backpack that you carry, can literally make or break you. Try to make the most out of your trip with the least amount of inventory as possible. I remember my friend Josh was carrying his backpack, and it looked like it was over 20 pounds because he had a tripod and a gimbal with him. And I also carried a duffel bag which had all my clothes, and I also carried a handheld sling backpack from Peak Design, and both weren't the most comfortable because they were carrying a lot of stuff than we both had thought we wanted to. Our camera gear just started to add up, and every ounce can really count when you're walking for at least 5 to 10 hours a day. So on a practical level, I would suggest traveling light, maybe putting half of your gear at home or the gear that you don't need. We did a lot of walking that day, and I just remember how our feet were just hurting. Like, it wasn't just the bags that we were carrying and our shoulders, but just walking in our shoes from point A to point B felt like hell. Now, kind of in the middle, almost to downtown. And they're filming Law & Order right now. They got some pretty sick production setups. We finally got to downtown and had dim sum. We got back to the hotel a little later, which was nearby, and we unpacked our stuff and relaxed until the evening. Right, yo, yeah. We're heading close to Times Square right now. Oh, times are exciting. We're here checking out everyone's shoes in their fashion game. It's always on point. And I literally have $20 shoes from Target. Don't tell anyone.
Whatever works, man.
We went to central Manhattan to find Times Square. And for the first time, I really couldn't describe it anything other than what you see on TV. It was just, there was all these billboards and people and streets, and it was kind of like seeing something from Captain America at the end of the movie, where he runs out of New York City, and it's kind of like the fish out of the water, where like you don't really know what's going on, and it's like seeing things for like the first time. We went up to the Empire State Building, which had an observatory, and we did a lot of night stuff that day. I remember we tried to cram in as much as we could into that one day, and we had a couple of touch points during the night, such as the Vessel. After that, we went to the Irish Hunger Memorial, which a friend of mine recommended, and we took some really good photos there and videos. My friend Josh was breakdancing, and I caught a really awesome clip of him. Unfortunately, I don't have that saved in my files, but I did have some of the behind the scenes, which I'll show right here. Although we were jet lagged, we managed to stay up all day. We pulled an all-nighter basically, and we didn't even think about sleep. Like, all we did was just go out and did whatever was on our schedule, like back to back. So my main point is that when you're really excited about a location, sleep is the least of your priorities. You can always muster up the creative energy to do these activities no matter where you are. But after that tiring first day, we kind of just took it easy on the second one, and we decided that we would split up and have some time to ourselves. This is when I wanted to explore Times Square again, but this time during the day, just to see if it was different from what it would look like at night. I also explored Chelsea Market, which was sort of like a food eatery mall kind of spot. And I got some really good food there. Like, there was a taco stand, which had delicious Mexican food. And I also got these really good hand-pulled noodles. I went to the New York University and felt like I blended a lot with the college students there. There was a lot of people around this fountain sort of area. And, you know, there were some people performing as well. I felt like this sort of artistic vibe. Like, I got some shots of this lady dancing, and she had a very, I don't know how to describe it. It was, yeah, you'll see it in the clip. So on day 3, I decided to check out Williamsburg, and it's a different city. It also had more of this artistic vibe instead of the usual hustle and bustle of the city. And while I was there, I did a bike ride again, this time around Domino Park. I find that biking helps me explore most of the area and allows me to feel free. And I remember just going up to random people and asking them if they wanted to shoot photos. I kind of feel like New York is a really elaborate city where it's sort of like a paradise for creators and filmmakers. And I did manage to find a model. Her name was Sierra, and I approached her while she was on her break, and I took some really good photos, which I'll show here in a second. The photo shoot was really cool, and I was just happy to get these fall vibes while I was there. And my next point is that even though you're traveling with a partner or friends, you should always dedicate some time to travel alone or by yourself. And it's always good to discuss this with your partner or friend, because I feel like some days you just need that time and space to explore on your own. So exploring by myself allowed me to develop and make connections with people that I normally wouldn't approach if I was with my friends. So the 4th day was pretty interesting. I went to Grand Central Station by myself, and I just took a minute to just sit with the environment and just watch people at the station. I took a couple of time lapses there. So I remember something that Josh mentioned to me, and it was whenever he goes on trips, he always calls someone important and just catches up with them. Whether it's like a phone call asking about how their day was, or just sharing what their journey was like. And this inspired me to go to Grand Central Park and call someone who I cared the most about, which was my younger brother. And I called him at about 12 p.m., which is like close to morning time. So he wasn't really, he wasn't really awake, but it's okay though, because at least I made the attempt to call someone. So my main point 4 is have someone significant to share your travels with, even if they are thousands of miles away from you. It makes that connection much more meaningful when you reach out to them and decide to call that person while you're away. And on this night, we went bar hopping and we had a blast. Like, we just went to different spots here and there. Like, there was this arcade bar that we went to first. We saw some really cool speakeasies, like this huge tongue in the middle of like the door. We had a good time and, you know, just exploring. On day 5, we took some last photos at the Vessel again during the day, and some more shots around the city and Brooklyn Bridge. When we got to the airport, this was when things started to get a little messy. We didn't really make our flight, and we missed it at the gate because we were just sitting and not really paying attention to the call. And we thought we were at the right gate, but it turns out that it was a different gate. And so we missed that flight, and things started to get a little chaotic. We didn't really know what we were gonna do for an extra day because we had rebooked our flight again. And the thing that we needed to do right away was find some lodging or a place to stay. So we booked a hotel in Manhattan, and we really had to gather our bearings because we were in for a pretty wild night. Nevertheless, we spent our last Saturday there trying to get our one last hurrah, and we tried going out to bars and clubs again. So after that chaotic night, I thought of another main point, and that is to be prepared for things to go wrong and always have contingencies and backup plans in place, because things will go wrong. You know, you might miss a flight, you might not make it to your hotel, or, you know, something just disastrous might happen. You never really know. So it's always good to think 2 steps ahead. So that's pretty much my trip to New York City. I tried to salvage as much of the material that I got as possible. There's a lot of footage that I had saved, which was shot mostly on iPhone and GoPro. And I really sort of try to get creative with the narrative, but also share some value as well. And if you liked what you got from this video, I encourage you to please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. There will be more cinematography and also personal development material in this channel coming up soon. So I'm really hoping to grow this by the end of the year and going forward to 2023. My name is Zachary True, and I hope to see you guys in the next bit. Chee!